Hey everyone. Since we had so many difficulties with getting our login to Jigsaw or Canvas, or you're not seeing the links and things like that, I'm making a short recording for everybody because our recordings are not working with Jigsaw right now. And I don't want you to feel like you're behind. So, welcome to World Literature. This is our very first class. I opened class with this little riddle of someone's mom has four sons, north, west, and south. What is the name of the fourth son? And if you know the answer to that riddle, go ahead and send me an email if you think you know, and I'll be happy to see if you're right. But here's a quick course overview. The first unit we're looking at is Stories Around the World, August 12th through the 23rd. That's the dates that it'll be going over. There's four stories right here: The Crab That Played with the Sea, The Story of the Fisherman, and The Story of a Warrior Queen, and The Royal House of Thieves. Now, we do have one essay, How the Grimm Brothers Saved the Fairy Tale. And all of these have in common, you see our questions with the readings have in common. They're all a form of fairy tales. The crab that played by the sea is, or played with the sea, is a India fairy tale. The Story of the Fisherman is from Middle Eastern area. Story of Warrior Queen is ancient England, Britain, and Royal House of Thieves is ancient Greece. And then brothers, or the Grimm brothers, I keep saying Brothers Grimm, like the movie, but the Grimm brothers are the ones that collected all of those fairy tales around Europe and Russia and those areas, and like Little Mermaid and Beauty and the Beast and Three Little Pigs and all the fairy tales that we know, Snow White and all that, like the ones Disney have made millions of dollars on with movies and things. So these are all types of fairy tales, and then the Grimm brothers, it's kind of looking at fairy tales as a whole. Okay, and then you have two assessments with this unit. The first one will be this Friday, August 16th, and it's a 10-question multiple choice quiz that looks at 6 of our literary standards, and it's going to look at the 4 stories we read. And it's very straightforward. You will have some reading passages, primarily from the stories that we read, and that'll be due this Friday. And then next Friday, August 23rd, you have your personal narrative due. So we've been looking at these fairy tales where the main character usually has some kind of significant moment or big decision they have to make. And we're going to write a personal narrative about our own significant moment or decision that we've had in our life. Everybody's just different. You can be thinking about what you may want to write about, and that will be due next Friday. So now, from today's lesson, we are going to read the Just So stories with Rudyard Kipling, and we're going to analyze the impact of word choice on meaning and tone, draw a conclusion about the author's purpose, and cite evidence to support a conclusion. All of this that you're seeing right here, this snip and many of the others in the PowerPoint, are from their actual lesson themselves. So we're not going to go through each of these slides word by word, but it's all in your daily lesson. So we defined imagery, and we used today's class to kind of practice with the Jigsaw tools. So we used the mic, we used the whiteboard, we practiced annotating on the PowerPoint and things like that. So that's how we went through some of these definitions of literary terms. And here the key with imagery is noting that it's referring to the 5 senses, just sensory details using the 5 senses in descriptive language. That's imagery. And the one several groups in classes messed up was this first one. They saw music vibrated the floor and shook the walls, and they saw music and they're like, oh, that's sound because it's music. But actually, if you look at the verbs vibrated and shook, this actually referring to touch, because when you vibrate something or shake something, that you feel it. So this is sense of touch. Okay. And then this we won't go over together in this recording because it is also in your lesson today in your modules. So you can look at this fun little excerpt from the story of the fisherman. And again, we're looking at matching the descriptive, or we had that again, sorry, that was multiplied or duplicated. Tone. The key definition with tone is the author's attitude toward the subject. A lot of times, tone gets confused with mood, as a student pointed out today. Mood is that atmosphere the author creates for the reader. Tone is your attitude towards something. So, my example was today, Jigsaw itself is a neutral thing. We all have various attitudes toward Jigsaw right now because of all the technical difficulties we've had. So our tone toward Jigsaw is it has a variation among all of us in the class. All right. And then we looked at tone using words and a comforting tone. And this is something that's also in your module, so you can do it there. We practiced using the mic, defining repetition, and the big consensus was that repetition is repeating something for emphasis, okay, to create meaning and through the repetition. And then we took a quick little look at our Canvas and how to get to things. So I've got a few little arrows, read your announcements, look at your scheduled events and assignments over here in your to-do list, access your content in the modules, check your emails. And what I'm going to go ahead and do for you right now is what I did in class is I shared my own Canvas and showed you exactly where to go. So let me see. I'm going to start from my dashboard. I'm going to leave student view because it's being crazy. But here's my dashboard. And I nicknamed my class Semester A so I don't get confused with any of my second semester stuff. You might nickname your classes if something to help you not get them mixed up with another. And whatever you nickname it, it's your personal thing. So it's all you. So I am now in our class, World Literature, and I can do several things. I can look at my announcements. I got my Monday announcement. I got my pre-test announcement from administrators. I've got what's coming up with my classes that I'm teaching tomorrow. And this will be what you're attending tomorrow, your first, second, and third period live classes. And you see I've got 8 more this week. And then I can look at all my announcements individually right here. And see, I see the ones that are scheduled and coming up. You won't see those yet until it's actually time. And then we go to our modules. Now, I have not published this Jigsaw classes and recordings because that function's not working right now, so I don't want you to worry about it, but it's there for when it's useful. I'm going to collapse that because we don't need it. You got your Canvas support resources, your parent resources. This is what was last week. We did all the map testing and pre-test schedule. And then here we are with this week. And here is today's work, today's modules. August 12th warm-up, the instruction. All of these are pretty short. You've got to do the reading with The Crab That Played with the Sea, but again, it's a pretty short fairy tale, entertaining, and go through the instruction again and the summary. And that's all your work for today. I've included guided notes for this whole lesson section. Analyzing word choice in author's purpose in short stories. You can print it out. You can just open it up on your desktop and look at it. Do whatever you want. This is what it looks like when you click on it. And you can use that to help you go through your work and make sure that you're understanding everything that you need to do. And I'm going to go back to modules. And then here's your rest of your work for the rest of the week. All right. So that is basically it. We didn't have a lot of time to do any reading, and the rest of these slides are pretty much from your lesson itself, so you can do that. This is the big thing. Now what? Look at your daily assignment and make sure that you're taking care of all your tasks. And that is basically it. Please call me or send me an email if you're having any more problems, and I'll be happy